Hi, I'm Dr. Malia Lawrence. Today we will learn about diversity training within sport organizations. My longtime colleague, Dr. George Cunningham, has written a significant textbook, Diversity and Inclusion in Sport Organizations. We will be focusing on his chapter titled Diversity Training. I will be speaking to you as if you're a sport manager. What is diversity training? Diversity training is an educational process where individuals acquire skills, knowledge, attitudes, and abilities in regard to diversity-related issues. There are both positive and negative effects of training. I'd like to focus on the positive effects first. There is an improved attitude and motivation to do their job when going through diversity training. There is an increase in group dynamics and intergroup relationships can be enhanced. Also, another positive effect of diversity training is that employees enjoy doing their job and they enjoy their work setting. The negative effects of diversity training, there are several. Some people are hesitant to discuss sensitive topics such as race, gender, sexual orientation, or religion. When employees feel they're unable to apply their diversity lessons to their job duties, this can cause frustration. Also, when there is a misunderstanding as to how the training can add to organizational effectiveness, this can cause confusion. There are 4 steps in designing an effective diversity training program. The first one is to conduct a needs analysis. Next is to evaluate the pre-training conditions. Thirdly, you need to decide on training methods. And lastly, to ensure effective post-training conditions. You, as the sport manager, should be able to do an investigation of your organization. This takes a little bit of research and it could take some time. This is very significant to do on the front end so you have an effective training session. You should focus on where the training is needed, who needs the training within your organization, and what material should be included in the training. The next step is to evaluate pre-training conditions. This is where you should become familiar with your audience. You should learn the employees' culture, their mores, their etiquette, their mentality. Also, you need to frame the training in a very positive light. You need to specifically outline the benefits of the training for the organization. Also, you should indicate that there is a need and show that there is a need for the organization to benefit from the training. Also, it is very significant to gain support from the higher up officials and administrators in the organization. The next step is to decide on training methods. As a sport manager, you should keep in mind the concept of transfer of training. This means that the training should be able to transfer into specific job duties. Also, you need to be very specific in identifying the organization's needs. You should avoid cookie cutter programs that some of these companies offer and cater it specifically to the needs of your organization. This involves choosing a person to conduct the training. This should be someone that can develop a rapport with the employees. Also, you should decide how the training is delivered. An interactive approach can be very effective here. The last step is effective post-training conditions. The training evaluation should allow employees to offer feedback in regard to content, in regard to what they learned, and their overall reaction to the training. This will have a positive influence on any upcoming trainings as well. The transfer of training concept is very important here. Transfer of training can make or break your training. In order to have an effective training, you need to make sure that the diversity lessons can be applied to the workplace setting. Therefore, transfer of training is whether or not the lessons can be learned and applied in the workplace setting. To summarize today's lesson, we covered diversity training in sport organizations. We covered the positive and negative effects of diversity training, and as sport managers, you learned how to develop a 4-step program to developing an effective diversity training program. Okay, in conclusion, I'd first like to open it up for any questions you can ask now. If anything does come to mind after class, you can always communicate with me in any method that you prefer. You can email me, Skype, call me, or text me. I'm always available for you. Also, I recorded this lecture and I will be posting it up on our online course. Remember that all of this information will be on the final exam, so study hard. The next slide includes a reference, so if you would like to gain more detailed information on this topic, you can access Dr. Cunningham's textbook. So study hard for the final. Thank you, and hope you learned a lot.